This is Jerry with Jerry's Retirement Wisdom. If you've been following along, you know that I've been making modifications to my 14-foot aluminum V-bottom boat. And what we're going to address today is this anchor system. You can pick these up at Bass Pro Shops. They've been around for years and they only run about $12. And basically it's a formed metal bracket with a 2-inch plastic wheel at the front, and this device here in the back is supposed to pinch your anchor rope and hold your anchor in place when you deploy it. The problems I'm having is that my anchor, when it's deployed and then I return it to the up position, will come up here and bang into my boat. So we can't have that, so I've got to come up with a way to address that. Also, this little 2-inch pulley, this device here in the front doesn't keep the rope from jumping off the pulley. So oftentimes you're fishing, when you get ready to move, your rope's off to the side somehow and it won't pull up. So that's an issue. And then here in the back, this device here is supposed to pinch and hold your rope when your anchor's deployed. But once my anchor gets to the bottom of the river, oftentimes it doesn't pinch. It just lays like that. And then line continues to feed and I'm floating away from where I want to be. So we need to address these issues with our anchor. The rope's pretty frayed from years of use, so I think while we're at it, we'll replace the rope. Let's get busy. Well, the idea I have here with my anchor to keep it from banging so badly when I bring it up near the boat is I'm going to take some wire ties, and I've taken a whole pool noodle and I've cut about 1.5 inch wide section off of my pool noodle. And then what I'm going to try is I'm going to run the wire tie through the holes in this mushroom anchor. And I'm going to put my first wire tie on kind of loose, okay, because that's not my final wire tie right there. And then I'm just going to make sure this noodle stays right there on that upper edge, and at each of the 4 openings in the anchor, I'm going to fasten that down nice and tight. Okay. Next opening, keep it up there on the edge. Run my wire tie through. Make sure it's laying firmly on the edge here. Right around there. Pull that tight. And I'm kind of keeping the thick part of the wire tie towards the bottom so it's not up there where it might be snagging something under the water. Going to go again here. Another hole, another wire tie. Make sure our noodle's up around that edge. Okay, and lastly, when I come back around here, I'm going to put a wire tie across both pieces to hold them in place, and then I'll take off the original wire tie. So, got this one overlapping the first one. Both of them, or I think they're in good shape. All right, pull that down tight. Remove the original wire tie, and then I think I'll add a second one at this final edge just to make sure there's 2 pieces that are overlapping. Get a little extra effort here. Okay, now got pool noodle all the way around the perimeter of my mushroom anchor, and I'm just going to pull these exceptionally tight and trim them off. So there we have it. I've taken my mushroom anchor and put a pool noodle around the edge and wire tied it to the holes that normally that lets mud and water and whatnot through. So we're going to give this a go and see how that works. But I think instead of banging my boat hard when it comes up, it's going to do a lot better. Now, will it get grubby and nasty and mud and mold and whatnot? Maybe, but it's $1.25 pool noodle. We'll just replace it when it gets kind of nasty. A couple of wire ties and a bit of pool noodle, and there you have it. Nice anchor hack. Okay, I've got my new line ready to go on our anchor, and I think the way we're going to do that is we're going to feed that line through the eye twice. I'm doing this pretty much the same way I would do a fish hook. Okay, I've created a loop in my main line. Now I'm going to bring that tag end around the main line and the loop combined about 3 times or so, and then bring the tag line back through the loop that I made. Then all I have to do is tighten it down, and we've got a nice knot for our anchor. As much as I'm confident in the knot that I put on here, just to be sure, I'm going to use our cable ties, and we're going to put those back on here and tighten down this tag in to our main line. And that's just added protection, because you know what will happen. That knot will fail right when the anchor is sitting at the bottom of the lake. So, you know me, I don't like investing a lot into anything, and I'm always looking for a nice hack. So I think the idea of using the pool noodle around the bottom of the anchor to keep from banging against my modified aluminum boat here, and just replacing the anchor line and doing some modification here to the anchor control system is the way to go. There we go. So we have that part done. To modify our anchor system, what we need to do first is cut off this post that goes through here. As you can see, the end is splayed. And when we do that, we'll be able to pull that post out and go to work on this part here. Okay, got that end cut off, and that just pulls easily out of there. Okay, then we can remove our little plastic wheel and this flimsy metal guard. Now, what I purchased at Ace Hardware is one of these Campbell metal pulley systems, and this thing ran about $12. The good part about this clamp is it uses a cotter pin to hold the shaft in, so we don't have to cut anything loose here to get this apart. So what I'm going to do here, now that we've got the other wheel out of the way, is I got an 1¼ inch stainless steel bolt. I'm going to run that through our pulley and out the other side and bring it through the outside of our formed metal anchor system. Then we're going to use a nylon locking nut there on the outside. Okay. That I think is going to work great to replace this flimsy plastic wheel. Also, by leaving the entire pulley system intact and just tightening it with this bolt that I've added, what we're going to be able to do is we're going to, instead of using this flimsy piece of metal as our guard, we're going to use the pulley itself as our guide. The only issue I've got is that's going to flop around. So what I think we'll do is we'll take the wheel out, we'll drill through both the pulley body and the formed metal bracket. We're going to just put a little rivet or screw in here, and we're going to keep that from falling down and flopping around and getting in the way, because that could end up being just as much a problem for us as some of the other pieces. So we're going to take our Campbell pulley body, and we're going to use that at about a 45-degree angle in order to use that as part of our rope guide to keep that rope from jumping off our new metal wheel. So to do that, we're going to drill a hole through here and put a small screw through that hole. So I've marked about where I want my hole. I might even move it back just a smidgen more. So we're going to drill that, and then through that hole we'll mark our pulley body and show where that gets drilled. Okay. With that drilled, then we can reinstall everything. Put our bracket at a 45 degree angle, and we can use that hole to mark where we need to drill the Campbell pulley bracket. Put everything back together one more time, except we're not going to put our wheel on there yet. We're going to take our screw and we're going to put it through here inside out, and then run it back through the hole that we've made in our outside bracket. We're going to apply a flat washer, a lock washer, and our nut. Put our screwdriver in the back, and we just need to tighten that down snug. Okay. Now, just so it doesn't catch on anything, we'll just cut that off. Got our bracket on nice and tight. Now we can remove the 1¼ inch stainless steel shaft. Put our metal wheel up in there. Flat on the outside. Nylon washer. And snug everything down. We're good to go. There we are. This device is supposed to catch when your anchor gets where you want it to be, is always staying up on me, and then I have to lean down from where I'm sitting up in the boat and physically push this down to get it to catch. It's been really, really annoying. I used what would amount to an old chainsaw sharpening file. You can use any kind of little file. And I filed the grooves on each side of this protrusion here in our anchor control system. That way when I loop something around there, it's going to catch. It's not going to slip off. Okay. Then what we've got our hole here in the anchoring device here in the front. I took an old Peerless faucet, and on those they have a big O-ring. So really what you need is any kind of an O-ring. You could even use a rubber band, but I don't know that they'll last as long. But you can take this O-ring, and what you want to do is feed a loop in through that hole that you made in the anchoring device. Bring the bottom of your loop around underneath, pull that tight so you have a free end, then pull that free end down and hook it around our grooves that we filed. Now when that pulls up, it wants to come down. This has been Jerry with Jerry's Retirement Wisdom. Today we've gone over some anchor hacks and modifications. We've put a pool noodle around the perimeter of our mushroom anchor to keep it from banging our boat and doing damage. I've showed you how to put on a new rope, tie a strong knot. We've also modified our anchor control system here and got rid of that plastic pulley that we had on here and that flimsy little metal guide that wasn't working for us, and replaced it with a pretty substantial Campbell pulley here with a metal guide. And I've also showed you how to modify our anchor stop with an O-ring so it springs back when you operate it. If you like our videos, be sure to like and subscribe and hit that notification bell. And stick around, because my next video I'm going to show you how to make a poor man's anchor winch using only about $40 worth of parts. If you'd like to see some of my previous videos right now, click on one of those. We'll see you next time.